What's going on YouTube? Dawn of Majesty is finally out this week. It has been a set I have been looking forward to for only one reason, and that is because my favorite deck in YGO has finally gotten support again. Now, to be totally honest, things did not go well for me with this deck a whole bunch of times, which discouraged me a lot. The deck still has a lot of the same problems it had to deal with before, such as well-placed hand traps or going against disruption in general, but if you can get rolling, the deck can be terrifying. This is going to be split into two videos like Sword Soul, where I will display combos and talk more about the deck here, with straight duels coming later on in the next video. Getting onto the support, Synchrons received a new Synchron monster for the lineup, and this one is actually amazing. Stardust Synchron is a level 4 tuner who can search a spell or trap that lists Stardust Dragon in the text. The main use for this is to search the new continuous spell Arrive in Light, which sets up Converging Will's Dragon, the new Majestic Dragon monster. Stardust Synchron also has another effect where it can tribute a monster to special summon itself from the hand or grave once per turn, and this effect does come in handy quite a bit. These three cards are the main necessities to throw into the deck with the new boss monster, but there are two more that I run just for backup purposes. Stardust Trail is a level 4 non-tuner who works hand in hand with the Synchron, as when a monster is tributed she can special summon herself to the field from the hand or grave. To get her going, I run one copy of Stardust Illumination, which can send any Stardust monster from the deck to the grave and banish itself to change levels. This is mainly used if Junk Speeder is not possible, or if some form of disruption hits your combo and you're forced to improvise. It isn't mandatory, but it has saved my life, as you will see later on in the video. Converging Will's Dragon is pretty much Majestic Dragon in name and can be summoned from the hand when you draw into it, mainly from Arrive in Light. It can miss timing, so you do need to be careful when not going into Librarian before summoning this, or doing something else in the chain. On summon, if you control a level 8 or higher Dragon Synchro monster, you can summon another level 1 Dragon from the deck, and this should always be Omni Dragon Brotar, who can get a key additional search on summon. Now onto the boss monster shooting Majestic Star Dragon, a new level 11 XL Synchro evolution who can only be made with Majestic Dragon, and a non-tuner Dragon Synchro monster. While the requirements can be intimidating, the combo to go into this isn't that bad if you can land Junk Speeder and get the non-tuner monster out alongside Majestic. You can also use Stardust Synchron and Trail to go into Stardust Dragon as well. Majestic Star can negate an opponent's monster on your turn, but can also banish itself to negate any card or effect activation similar to Cosmic Blazar Dragon. The less used additional effect also is that Majestic Star can attack an additional time for each Synchro monster in the grave that has Stardust Dragon in the text. I do run Stardust Dragon, but it isn't mandatory like the other cards I mentioned earlier. If you get a full speeder combo without interruption, you will most likely have lethal with Majestic and your other Synchros, so the double attack is rarely needed. There are two main routes to go within this deck to get your plays rolling, and both require Junk Speeder, which is sadly an automatic target for Ash Blossom and Nibiru. The first combo is the original that everyone should know, which involves Junk Synchron reviving a level 2 monster from the grave, preferably Junk Converter for the chain block and management. The second combo, however, is something that has gotten quite popular by now, and utilizes the new Diviner of the Herald monster to give you much more advantage and the ability to stop Nibiru if done correctly. When Diviner is tributed by Stardust Synchron, you can summon Eva from the deck while forming a chain with the Synchron and getting the materials for Junk Speeder. When you summon Junk Speeder and send Eva to the grave, another chain block is formed where you can add Herald of the Orange Light and Diviner to stop a potential Nibiru or any other hand trap from this point forward. Even with these two combo routes, I did struggle a bit in getting good hands at times somehow, but there was one more card that finished the formula, and that is Starlight Junction, the old field spell back from Synchron Extreme many years ago. I do have to shout out 037 Wolf on YouTube because this was the last piece I needed to further raise my opening combo chances, and he is an amazing Synchron player that I have followed since almost 2016, so make sure to check out his channel. As much as I hated Starlight Junction when it was released, it does provide another way to tribute Diviner as opposed to using the valuable effect of Stardust Synchron, and it gets you the same results. Its second effect can also come in handy if you decide to end your turn with XL Synchron on board, or another Synchro tuner of your choice who can Synchron on the opponent's turn. The list has gone through some dramatic changes since it was released in the OCG, so if you see weird things like Gamma and Signal here, please ignore it. For now, I do want to show off the Diviner combo first just for reference. Junk Converter is merely Ash bait here, but getting a Junk Synchron for later does not hurt. Like I mentioned, you want a normal Diviner and send Herald of the Arc Light from the extra deck to the grave to search Sararvis, which isn't mandatory but it is a free search. I run 2 Heralds due to another anti-Nibiru combo which involves the Junk Synchron route, but that will come later. Tributing Diviner, you can revive Stardust Synchron and summon Eva, giving you Junk Speeder with the chain block. Once Junk Speeder is summoned, the real Wombo combos start, as you want to make some key Synchro summons and do things in proper order. I maxed out on different main deck Synchrons for Speeder's effect, and that includes Quick Draw even though he cannot go into generic Synchro monsters. The main purpose of the Diviner route is to have a way to stop Nibiru, since you can search Herald of the Orange Light when Eva leaves the field. This combo does get a bit scuffed in this replay since I wasn't running Power Tool Dragon at the time, so I will move on, but the key note to take away is how Diviner works in getting you Junk Speeder safely. I will show off the proper end board later on. Whether you use Junk Synchron with Converter or Starter Synchron with Diviner, the main combo after summoning Speeder remains the same for the most part. Getting more recent with things, Starlight Junction is another way to tribute Diviner, and is a lot better since you don't have to use Starter Synchron's tribute effect so soon in the combo. Thanks to this, you can play through some form of disruption sometimes depending on the rest of your hand, and you don't need to go Maiden or use Living Fossil to guarantee a revive for Doppel Warrior. I'll move on from here since we covered the same start, and I'll show the actual final board I prefer to end on next replay. It would be nice if I got plays this often, but for this replay I will show the Junk Synchron route. This is pretty standard, with the downside being there is no way to stop Nibiru once Junk Speeder hits the field. Junk Converter will chain block Speeder from getting hit with Ash Blossom, and will revive the Junk Synchron you use to save getting another out of the deck. Sadly, I did draw Cyber Synchron for the discard target, so I do have to revive that instead since it and the level 2 Synchron are a key piece of the combo following Speeder. Once you summon all of your Synchron monsters, your first Synchro afterwards will be Power Tool Dragon. I didn't have him at first and instead went into Charge Warrior, but no matter which one you go into, you must activate Arriving Light after this first summon. Power Tool provides a lot more with the Living Fossil search, but if you already drew one, his effect cannot be activated. After Power Tool, you will want Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, as it is the main Synchro material for the Majestic Star summon and can negate any sneaky hand traps that survive this far. If your opponent is somehow stacked with hand traps and plays Strikers or something, the negate will help, but it should be expected that they will use everything to stop you from getting this far. The important part is that you activate the Arriving Light right before you summon Crystal Wing to put Converging Will's Dragon on the top of the deck. After summoning Omni Dragon, you will search Doppel Warrior since it shares typing with Junk Synchron, and then go into Garden Rose Maiden. You can also go into Librarian for the draw sequences, but you would need Living Fossil or Starter Synchron to still have its effect to revive to trigger Doppel Warrior. Here, the Librarian draws are appreciated, and I still have Stardust's effect so I can summon Doppel Warrior and go into shooting Majestic Star Dragon. The tokens left behind by Doppel Warrior further enhance your plays, and things can branch out here into personal preference. Going into Axel Synchron here, I can change its level to 1 by sending another Starter Synchron to the grave solely for the purpose of going into Celestial Double Star Shaman. With another Doppel Warrior chance, we can further extend here and pretty much get the chance to summon Cosmic Blazar Dragon alongside Majestic Star. Sadly, I did take out Blazar due to preferring quantity over quality, as getting hit with Dark Ruler or Kaijus hurts a lot more if you have less monsters to protect you and survive. If you want to run Blazar, the chance is here, but for this play I decided to settle for Dawn Dragster and level 8 Synchro. No matter what, you do want to go into Garden Rose Maiden at some point so you can revive Crystal Wing from the grave by banishing her. With Arriving Light's second effect, I decided to summon the Diviner for a late Saravis search and Hand Rip to close things out. We didn't use Living Fossil at all, so we can throw it out for the final, most important piece, Starter's Dragon. In all honesty, I will probably find space for a level 9 Synchro here though, as Stardust is best utilized if you are forced into the Trail combo. You do not have to follow this end board, as there are a bunch of other routes you can take after the Majestic Star summon point. You can summon Herald of the Arc Light, or leave Axel Synchron on the field for a Satellite Warrior on your opponent's turn. Things are a little flexible with the variety of levels you can revive or modulate, so there is always room for different things. At a minimum, you do want to get Majestic Star and Crystal Wing, along with 1 or 2 other Synchros. Saravis in the hand can protect, along with Cyber Synchron in the grave if you get hit with Dark Ruler. If you went the Diviner route at the start and your opponent didn't have a Nibiru for Speeder, you can also have the Herald of Orange Light as another form of disruption. Getting onto the last combo, this one is a bit rare, but you can stop Nibiru on Speeder with the Junk Synchron route. It is pretty costly and can be made easier if you run techs like Kaligo Clawcrow, but you pretty much need a level 2 tuner to revive while opening Doppel Warrior. With Doppel being clutch and making more materials, you can actually make Herald before your Junk Speeder play. The combo will change a bit, but I will leave it up to your imagination and how you want it to go. I haven't actually landed this yet, but it does seem like a valuable option to go for if you're confident that your opponent may have Nibiru. The last 2 cards in hand also provide another path of plays also, so there are some fun things you can do with this deck if Nibiru does land. For the last showcase, I will show off an actual dual replay in the OCG where the giant rock does actually stop my combo. Like before, I am forced to discard a key Synchron for the junk surge, so I do have to revive it later with Converter's second effect. Monster Reborn is amazing help if something goes wrong, but for this turn I won't even need it. Starlight Junction can be a nuisance as it rarely will help in a case without Diviner, but the main key card here is Stardust Illumination. It is expected to get hit with Nibiru right when Speeder hits the field, and if it's there isn't much you can do about it unless you open a different hand. You could shift the deck list a bit more towards more copies of Herald of Orange Light with Time Maiden or something, but I haven't tested it yet to see if that's a valid option. With Illumination, you can send Stardust Trail to the grave and then tribute the Nibiru token with Stardust Synchron's second effect. Doing this will revive Trail as well, and then you can activate Arrive in Light before Synchro summoning Stardust Dragon. It has to be Stardust or else Trail will not summon a token alongside Converging Will's Dragon. I might have fallen asleep here or missed the prompt for Converging Wills to summon Omni Dragon Brotar, but thanks to Illumination I can still change the levels to still go into shooting Majestic Star Dragon. While it is far from being a scary board like our standard combo, Majestic Star is still some form of disruption and will also return to the field with 2 attacks if we survive. I could have used Monster Reborn to revive Stardust for another potential piece of disruption, but if anything happened to Majestic somehow I wanted to get it back. With that, I've covered how to stop Nibiru, how to play on after it lands, and some form of a basic combo route for the deck whether you go Diviner or Junk Synchron. I will be tweaking things over time, so make sure to check me out with the deck during the Twitch streams, and stay tuned for the next video that will showcase some actual duels and highlights. If you enjoyed this showcase, make sure to like the video and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section.